Okay, y'all, we're up on the second story, and here's what you're about to see on this video. That blue thing you see right there, that's kind of a pedestal, that's called an X bracket from InSoFast. And the builder here is taking that as the base to form an overhang on this Monopoly framed roof. That is pretty cool. Now, this is a mock-up, we're not there yet, but here's the team that I want to introduce you to. Peter Scott, second generation builder and owner of J.M. Scott & Sons Builders. Jim Scott & Sons. Ed, you've seen before. He's the inventor and owner at InSoFast. And Kyle's our builder on site, our superintendent, right, Kyle?
Yes.
All right, so Ed, let me start with you first off. Monopoly framing, we've seen it on the build show before. The guys here did a great job. We got no overhang, nothing that stops that transition to be air sealed and taped at the face of the zip. And obviously we're still under construction here. We still have a little bit ways to go there. But then Ed, walk me through this bracket. What is going on here?
So the bracket is just a spacer that holds a furring strip out 3 1/4 or whatever distance. We have a number of different sizes from the wall, so it can go on the walls as well as, in this case, going on the walls and then as well as the roof.
Okay.
There too. So you have a continuous monolithic layer of, I like to call it fluid applied WRB spray foam, where it's multiple layers that really is kind of bulletproof when it comes to additional insulation and water.
So we're using standard zip on this job, and we're still in process, so it's not fully taped yet. It will be fully taped, and then we're going to use spray foam on the outside of the zip, right, Ed?
Correct.
And we're gonna show you the downstairs mock-up in a minute, but it's going to happen on the walls. And then walk me through what's happening with your brackets in the roof.
So the brackets are just spaced out and fastened right directly to the trusses. So the typical spacing is 4 foot on center.
Okay.
For they're going up along there, and then the furring strip goes on top of there. So it's just creating an air. When you get 3 inches of spray foam, you still have an airspace underneath the furring strip. So you got cross ventilation throughout everything. So where you have the valley there, it's already ventilated, so it eliminates the need to have to put furring strips on diagonally for the.
And so, Peter, this is just a mock-up. We're not there yet.
We're still experimenting.
But eventually, you're going to put another layer of zip system sheathing on top.
That's correct.
But before that, you'll have a spray foam contractor that will come. And what are the rough dimensions of that? What will that look like?
So we're going to try to get anywhere between 2 to 3 inches of close-cell spray foam. We'll completely cover the bracket itself.
Okay.
And then we'll dip lower and to get somewhere around 2 to 3 inches of close-cell. And then for the roof, we're going to get excess of 4 inches of ventilation.
Airflow.
And then on the walls, we'll get 2 to 3 inches as well.
Fantastic. So then we'll have some type of soffit vent system.
That's right.
A ridge vent.
Exactly.
And underneath the zip system sheathing, you're going to have this closed cell. You're going to have a really tight air barrier because you've got both the zip and closed cell foam.
Exactly.
And it's also going to be continuous from the wall all the way to the roof and then all the way to the top, right?
Exactly.
Man, that's a killer system.
About it.
And I think it's obvious for the people watching, but these are on 24-inch on centers for a reason, because that's what his hand-cut roof is if I look inside. So these roof rafters are on 24-inch on centers. And then talk to me, Ed, about both attachment of those X brackets, attachment of the 2x4s, and what kind of load values are we getting here?
So the brackets themselves, you can nail them on with a nail gun, and you don't get quite as much loading. You'll get about 150 pounds of loading if you put 4 16-penny nails in there, where you get over 300 pounds of loading with 2 construction screws going into the stud there. So
Wow.
And that's negative wind loading. That's allowable negative wind loading.
Gotcha.
Is what those numbers are.
And so
out of the
then,
code report.
and then the 2x4 that attaches, that doesn't have to structurally go then into the, actually I think I can see a screw. Oh, here we go. You can see that screw. It's a little hard to tell, but there's a screw right there that's just going from the 2x into the bracket and all the way down into the rafter, right?
Yeah, it's similar to the way they do pole barn construction, really, and they're just doing the long screws instead. Now, the real neat thing is the framers and the contract isn't doing any of the insulating at all. So it's a hot day today,
Right.
and we're not doing bundles of insulation or
All right,
anything.
we can wait till it's cool and then bring the spray foam contractor in.
And it's one contractor to do all the insulating, air sealing, weather resistant barrier, kind of sound barrier as well.
Yeah, and again, I said this is a mock-up. These tails are going willy-nilly. Eventually, we'll run a string line across those. And I think you mentioned, Peter, we got like a total of maybe an 18-inch overhang here.
That's right. That's what we're.
So we'll string line that, we'll straight line it, then we'll get a 2x sub fascia that will go on there, and that will allow us to have a nice connection between all those quote-unquote rafters. They're not really, they're kind of fakes, right? Because they're above the roof deck, which gives us a ton of benefits. And then we could then, at this point, have either a sloped soffit or we could form a flat soffit if we want. I think this house has a sloped soffit,
does.
right?
Yep.
So, and then eventually we got some stucco happening back here. This is a mock-up. We're just working out the details. So this video is intended to encourage you to think about mock-ups and maybe use this X bracket somewhere that you haven't before. But if you want to come see this house, Build Show Live, which is happening in about 2 months, October 16th, there's a VIP tour if you buy the VIP pass of this job under construction. And we're going to leave a section of this open so you can come see it, but we'll be a little further on in construction. This is really, really cool.